Hey folks, before we begin, please be aware that we are recording this webinar. If you have any questions about the resources, we encourage you to follow up via email at support@electionsgroup.com. Thank you all for joining us today. My name is Annie, and I'm an election expert with the Elections Group.
Hey everyone, my name is Rebecca. I'm the Communications and Program Manager here for the Elections Group.
For those of you who may be joining us for the first time, the Elections Group is an election administration consulting firm. We partner with state and local election officials to implement new programs or improve processes for voters and stakeholders. We provide guidance, resources, and direct management support for jurisdictions. Our team is made up of former election officials and election experts from across the United States. We're pleased to have you all with us today for our next highlight of resources for the election administration community. Each week, we'll showcase resources from the Elections Group paired with resources from other organizations in the election space. Every 4 weeks, we'll focus on a different topic and we'll take a deeper dive into the resources available each week.
This month, we will focus on ballot processing and chain of custody. This week, we are highlighting the elections group's ballot Dropbox security posters and ballot Dropbox pickup procedure posters, and the Center for Civic Designs, the Civic Icons and Images for Designing. To talk in depth about the resources, we have with us today Randy Hadzor. He is an information designer at the Center for Civic Design. We are excited to have him here today, and I'll let him introduce himself and your organization. Randy?
Thank you. Hello, my name is Randy, and I'm an information designer at the Center for Civic Design. Today, I'm excited to share with you an overview of our Civic Icons and Images library. At the Center for Civic Design, we have spent the past 10 years using research-based design as a tool to make elections more accessible for all voters. We are a nonpartisan nonprofit. We work with elections offices and advocates across the country using design best practices to remove barriers in the voting journey and invite participation in democracy. We bring expertise in user experience, including user research, usability testing, plain language, accessibility, along with our experience designing forms, web applications, and services, to the challenges of making it easy for everyone to vote. There's a lot of overlap between these civic design skills. Personally, I specialize in information design and making complicated things easier to access, understand, and experience by design. Elections are complex. That's why we've created the Library of Civic Icons and Images that you can use in your election materials, including your election website, voter guides, and posters. Also included in the library alongside the images are guidelines to help you adapt and use imagery effectively. The library is organized into various collections and includes over 250 images. Each includes multiple formats, including JPEGs, PNGs, SVGs, and Illustrator files. Imagery is a simple but powerful tool for communicating information design. You may be familiar with some of the common sayings, such as a picture is worth 1,000 words, or show, don't tell. So here we have a photograph and an illustration of voting equipment. You'll notice that both images are attempting to convey the same information, but the illustration is able to do it clearer and with a smaller footprint. Clearer, but with a smaller footprint. So when you're trying to communicate something clearly, illustrations can be highly effective. With illustrations, you can be intentional about what details you include or omit. This allows you to show important information in a clear and concise way. Illustrations can also build familiarity while providing space for both accuracy and flexibility. For example, you can represent something close to your real ballot without needing to update the actual image every year if it is done with an illustration. Communicate faster. Images are some of the quickest communication elements to visually digest. Images are especially impactful because humans can process visual content 60,000 times faster than written text. Icons grab the eye and can be used intentionally to make it easier for readers to skim material and to quickly find what they need. Well-placed images can make materials easier to understand, and everyone can benefit from information presented in a clear and simple manner. This is called universal design. There are many types of imagery that you can use, and the library includes icons and illustrations. Icons are a simple graphic or pictogram of an idea, object, or activity. Illustrations can be more complex visual representation of multiple ideas. It's important to know how to use these types of images appropriately. Icons draw attention to important ideas or actions to take. On the left are some common icons you may have seen before. The exclamation icon conveys there's something important, and the right arrow guides people to next steps. Illustrations help tell a story or explain a concept. The illustration on the left shows the steps for packing and returning a vote by mail or absentee ballot. When there is no poll worker present, this can be super helpful for new voters. This illustration on the right demonstrates how to properly fill in a ballot to ensure your vote is counted. When space allows for it, instructional illustrations have the potential to help reduce errors in the election process and set voters up for success. This mail-in ballot package needed to be packed in a specific order. Illustrations can explain what's behind the scenes. Here, Alaska Division of Elections created this using a toolkit on post-election processing the CCD worked on with the EAC. You can find it on the EAC website or in the recording from the Resource Roundup webinar from June. Little details make a big difference. Look at the 4 illustrations. Which is closest to your own jurisdiction? The library is available as a resource as is or as a starting point. Here you can see the Pennsylvania Department of State made minor changes to reflect their materials better, while the Snohomish County used them as inspiration to create their own style. The first step to use these icons is to visit the Google Drive folder where they're stored and browse the library. You can also review the library catalog to see a complete list of the images without browsing the collection. If you have a specific graphic need that you can't find, you can email us. We'd be happy to keep in touch so that we can send you more resources as we release them. Thank you.
That was great. All right, we are going to go ahead and get into the tag resource really quickly. So the first resource we have are the Ballot Dropbox security posters. So creating posters and handouts that illustrate the security measures and pickup procedures for ballot drop boxes is a simple way to ensure that watchers and observers, the media, and any other visitors you may have accurate and up-to-date information. These posters can serve as assistive visual tools during tours and help communicate with the general public as well. The security and procedure posters are available to download in both PDF and PowerPoint formats. They describe how ballot drop boxes are locked and secured under video surveillance and professionally installed to prevent tampering and movement. Having these security measures and procedures identified is a simple way that you can help ensure trust and transparency. All right, Annie, I will pass it back to you.
Thank you so much, Rebecca. We also wanted to highlight some examples in the wild of election offices across the country who are doing some really amazing work. Sedgwick County, Kansas has an excellent information page on their website, including videos describing their security protocols and procedures. Their webpage uses text, videos, and infographics to communicate the election process and the many safeguards they take throughout. Check out their website today for some neat ideas on how to enhance your election website. Kudos to Sedgwick County, Kansas, and keep up the great work. So thank you everyone for joining us today, and thank you to Rebecca and Randy for a great discussion. The resources mentioned in today's discussion have been placed into the chat. We'd love to see if you've used any of the resources provided in our chat so far. If you've used or customized one of the resources, let us know. Send us an email with a screenshot or description. And as always, our inbox is open if you have any additional questions. Please email us at support@electionsgroup.com. Thank you, and we'll see you next week.